Boxing King Media out here in Liverpool with Josh Taylor. In fact, not Josh Taylor. I'm going to remind fans of this because I think people forget this. The first British undisputed champion of the four belt era in boxing history.
Thank you very much for that introduction, mate. Much appreciated.
do you think that's kind of forgotten about? Because whenever I see people talk about you, because obviously we see the back and forth between you and Jack recently, I think people kind of forget what you did.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of been forgotten about a little bit. Obviously over the last 2 years with the animosity between myself and Jack and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of been forgotten about. So yes, thank you for reminding me and everyone else, that I created history in becoming the first undisputed champion in the four belt era in the UK.
And when you look back at that, what does that mean to you now? Do you think it's do you get the feeling inside that it's a sort of achievement that you can look back on and people kind of respect, not just in England, Scotland, the whole UK?
Yeah, even across the pond as well. My amateur coaches are over in LA just now at the Wild Card, and he was wearing a Josh Taylor t-shirt, and they're like, "Oh, you know Josh?" And he's like, "Yeah, I coached him for years and stuff." And they're like, "Oh wow, really, Josh Taylor, great fighter and all that." So when you hear that coming back to you from the other side of the pond, it's a bit like, wow. Do you know what I mean? It's like take a wee step back and you go, Jesus, I don't realise the impact or how far your name reaches or what you've done. The achievements that you've reached. How far it's reached. It's quite humbling. To when you hear things like that.
Definitely, man. I just wanted to remind fans of that. The first things I was thinking about, I was driving up here today and I was thinking, when I think of you and Jack Catterall, the images that stick out to me is you either, it's all right, but you can check who it is. It's either you grabbing his neck or him grabbing your neck. There's because I think you in the first fight, I think you grabbed his neck at the weigh-in, was it? And then was it vice versa?
It's always been him. It's always been him putting his hands on my neck first. I think it was the last one at the press conference. I gave his nipples a little thick, because I was calling him a little fatty. So, he's always trying to grab me by the throat for some reason, but he won't be doing that again, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's the way it looks like. I know you both have said you don't use the word hate, but it looks like you obviously got a serious rivalry, but you're always laying hands on each other, and obviously a bit of nipple action last time.
Yeah, you got a feeling his little chippy tits, as I call them. Little fatty.
So you will have watched the face-off. It came out a couple of days ago, and I'm sure your Jim watched it. What did you make of it and how it came across?
I thought it was okay. I haven't actually saw it. I thought when I was there that day, I thought it went quite well. It was quite civil between the two of us. The host was very good too. He was very fair and asking good questions, and it was a good discussion. It was rather than your usual where the gloves are off. Johnny Nelson's always looking for a bit of needle and a bit of this and a kind of back and forth. He's always looking for the kind of, the hassle. Whereas with that, it was a little bit better. There was different conversations, more in depth. So I quite enjoyed it. It was quite good.
One of the things I picked up from there, I think Jack used the word cornered, that he was cornered into this fight. How does that make you feel? Because obviously, if you look through your record, you wouldn't think this is a guy that picks and chooses his fights, because you've obviously fought in that Super Series and you've basically fought the best.
Jack's just I call him Simple Jack. He's not got much brains. It's like he's not very intelligent. We've both been in this situation for 2 years, and he's just as much to blame as I am for it taking so long. Obviously I feel like I've explained this 100 times over. We had the rematch done straight away, and then we were going to announce it on the Liam Smith Eubank fight on the first one, and then I picked up that bad injury on the heel, on the plantar fascia tendon, complete tear on the heel. And that took months to get over. But instead of Ben Shalom and Jack Catterall maybe just waiting a little bit and Ben Shalom going and getting a date secured and a venue secured and getting it on straight away, getting it signed and secured in, they then took Jack on another fight, matched him up with someone else. I think it was maybe in the March or the April time, which then fell through. And then by that point, the WBO was like, right, we're mandating you. You've not got a fight lined up or anything scheduled up, so we're mandating you to fight your mandatory challenger, which was Teofimo Lopez. So it was the last belt that I had left, and I wasn't letting it go without a fight, you know. So and it was over in Madison Square Garden as well, so another one ticked off the bucket list, you know, like fighting over in America again, topping the bill, over in Madison Square Garden. You know, obviously the plan was to go over and win, beat him, and then come back and fight Jack for the title again. But obviously didn't get the result that time around. So it's back to Jack, but there's no title on the line. But this fight is bigger, I believe, than the first one. So yeah, because there's so much needle between us and competitive nature between us, and a bit of bad blood between myself and him and his camp and all that. So yeah, there's a bit of bad blood between the two of us. So yeah, I think this fight, even though there's no title on the line, is a bigger fight than the first one.
You know, in the same context, when he says he was cornered, but obviously history kind of shows he probably, you know, I mean, you fight anyone.
How can it be cornered when, you know, there was other options there to take, but I wanted that one, and we had that one done, and then he went and took another fight. So how can it be cornered? You know, it's just the guy's not very smart. The guy's not very smart. We had the fight done. I picked up the injury, took up another fight. He then moved promoters, and then he moved promoters again, which adds to the problem as well, because you're starting to negotiate different negotiation points again from the start. So that doesn't help either. So you know, for him saying cornered, it just doesn't make sense. The fight was always going to be on. It just I picked up the injury and then things happened.
I know it's obviously a big rivalry, and you're both going to say things to each other, which probably try and ignite flames in each other. You know, when you're saying he's simple Jack, but obviously, you know, his performance in the first fight, you know, I know you've said you wasn't 100%, but surely you must respect him for his boxing skills, and, you know, and because you went in there as a big favourite. Most people were expecting you to win that fight, and obviously he did what he did. So when you're saying simple Jack, are you just saying it to wind him up?
I just don't think he's a very intelligent guy, you know. And the reason I call him it and stuff, he gets Sam Jones with things to say and tells him things to say, and he still fucks it up and gets things wrong, and he can't really come up with his own banter and things like that. He's a bit dull, he's a bit of a plank. So I just call him Simple Jack for that reason. He's not very smart, but yeah, he's just a guy that I don't really like at the minute. You know, I certainly wouldn't be going for a pint with him, you know, or shaking his hand, that's for sure. I'd rather punch his teeth down his throat.
Is he smart in the ring? Do you rate his boxing ability and skills?
I think he's good at what he does. He done well the first fight, which was slowing the fight down and stealing the sort of show, and, you know, kind of slowing the pace down. But at the same time, I was terrible the first fight. You know, like, look at that fight. Look how bad I was. I was just terrible. I was awful in that first fight. And that was his chance to become only the second undisputed champion in the UK. You would go out there, and I was weak as a kitten, and he just come out and just nick the fight. You know, it's just like, that's your big chance, mate. You've blew it. You're never going to be a world champion now.
And from the face-off, I noticed, you know, when you were asked to shake hands at the end, and I think most people watching that would have thought, if anyone's going to refuse, it's going to be you. Just the way it's been kind of built up, you look like the guy that's
trying to paint me as being the bad guy.
Yeah. Do you want to be the bad guy?
I don't really give a shit how they do it. I mean, Matchroom have already tried it. You know, they're trying it now with things, but I don't care. They're trying to paint me as being some kind of asshole and villain. I don't really care. You know,
have they done that? What have they done?
Just with the way they're editing things and making me look and stuff. You know, in their programs and stuff. But I'm not really caring. You know, we're going to fight at the end of the day. You know, and I've said, you know, like, if he beats me, I'll be the first guy to go, listen, well done. You know, and may the best man win. But he wants to be a prat and not do it. So
I think his reasons why he said, like, he's in fight mode and war mode. So would you understand that? Because I was surprised he didn't shake your hand.
I'm in fight mode as well. Yeah. But I'll go, okay, let's go. May the best man win. There's my hand. But he doesn't want to do it.
And just the last one on Jack and his man. You mentioned Sam Jones there. What do you make of Sam just as a manager? And obviously he recently took the realms of Adam Hamid. You know, Nazim Hamid's son as well is going to be managing him. He's got a pretty good stable. You know, just him taking him away from this fight. What do you think of him as a manager and the role he does? And let's say if he was your manager, how would you kind of?
I wouldn't have him go anywhere near me as a manager, to be honest. His negotiation skills are terrible, I think. But I don't mind Sam. I think he's okay. I think he's quite a funny guy and quite charismatic and stuff, you know, and he does a good job. He's a good mouth for the fighters, and Jack certainly needs him, because Jack couldn't sell a fight, man. If it wasn't for Sam Jones on the press conferences and stuff, Jack wouldn't be saying anything. You know, it'd be pretty boring. So you've got to give him his due. He uses his mouth well, and he uses his gift of the gab well. So yeah, he's done well in this fight, to be honest. But as a general manager, I wouldn't have him doing man negotiations, that's for sure.
And then just moving forward, what's your promotional situation? Are you like, you know, whether you win or lose, what's next for Josh Taylor?
Well, that's my own business, to be fair, you know. But yeah, I'm still with Top Rank at the minute, and we're doing this fight, and we've got maybe another couple of fights, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm still with Top Rank at the minute.
Just want to get your viewpoint on.
I'm happy with Top Rank, you know, because I've had absolutely no problems with them at all. Everyone's been simple, and everyone's been transparent. You know, everyone's been straight with them as well. There's been no hidden agendas with folk and things like that. So yeah, it's been great.
That's good to hear. And I want to get your opinion on, you'll have seen Errol Spence recently had a lawsuit filed against him from his trainer, Derek James. Did you see that?
Actually, never seen it. No,
all right.
I've not been paying attention to it, to be honest. You know, so I haven't really been paying attention to it. What's been going on?
So I just want to get your opinion as a fighter, because I've been asking people this just out of curiosity. I think the argument is this 10% thing where the trainer gets 10%. Yeah. I think Derek's basically said that he's been training for X amount of fights, but what he's been getting paid to what he's actually been writing down has been miles apart. So he's saying he's been shortchanged by 5 million over the time, right. Mainly from the last fight, because I think he's saying Errol got paid 25 mil, but on paper he got paid a lot less. So he got less of the 10%, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So just it's a big argument out there. Like, you know, I've spoke to a few people about it, where whether the trainers from day one should always be getting 10%, or do you think fighters get to the point where they're earning big money and they just want to pay they feel like they should cap the fee for a trainer? Just curious from your opinion.
Well, my opinion, you know, if you like, I've come down here to talk to Joe to train me and stuff, and we get the training and that done. We make sure we're gelling together and gelling his personalities and people and stuff, as well as a coach. And then we talk about, right, what do you want to take? And then we come to an agreement, you know, and if whatever the percentage is, and that's what we stick to, you know, and then that's, for me, what it should be, you know, shake the man's hand. That's the deal we've made. And if I make X amount, you get the percentage of that we've agreed upon, you know, and then I think that's what it should be. But you should be paying your trainer what you've agreed.
Fair play. And I asked Jack on the way here, because I'm going to go see him next. I said to him, because I'm going to ask you the same question, has he got any questions for you? I'm going to ask you if you've got any questions I can fire back to him. But he basically said, are you definitely going to turn up on May the 25th, because he wants to bash your head in?
I'll see you May 25th, mate. See you May 25th.
Any questions for Jack?
Absolutely nothing, mate. Absolutely nothing at all.
And then just the last one, because I'm going to ask him this as well. Have you got anything positive to say about him? I'm going to see if he's got anything positive to say about you.
Absolutely nothing. No, don't like the guy. Can't stand him.
And then the next 2 weeks, in between your fight, there's some big events in Saudi. So just some quick fire predictions. You'll have seen that we saw the picture earlier of Fury and Usyk both looking in great shape. Yeah. What's your head saying?
Do you know what? I've kind of changed a couple of times. I've always been sort of on Team Fury, because a good big one beats a good little one. But on the same side of that argument as well, Fury has always, I've found anyway, struggled a little bit with the smaller, more mobile opponents. He's always kind of struggled to nail them down and catch them, because of the mobility and the speed and agility. So I think he's always struggled a little bit. Sorry, that's my phone ringing there. Yeah, I think he's always struggled a little bit with the smaller opponents, and I just think, you know, with Usyk's athleticism and his coordination and his movement, you know, I think he's very good and he's very clever as well. And, you know, he looks like he's got a little bit stronger now as well. He's after his last couple of fights at heavyweight, it looks like he's beefed up and got a little bit stronger as well, but kept that mobility. So it's a real interesting one. And, you know, I'm still sort of leaning towards Fury, but I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Usyk pulled it off.
That's proper fence sitting. And then
yeah, it is actually fence sitting, yeah. But as I say, I'm more on Fury's side, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm going Team Fury, but I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk pulled it off.
And then just you can just give me one word answers for this. The 5v5, Hamza Shiraz, Ammo Williams.
Hamza Shiraz.
Nick Ball, Raymond Ford.
Never seen Raymond Ford fight, so got to go with Nick Ball on that one.
Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang.
Going off like I don't know, Zhilei Zhang. I'll go Zhilei Zhang.
Interesting fight. Willie Hutchinson, Craig Richards.
Oh, that's a good fight. I've got to go for my countryman, Will Hutchinson.
I knew you'd say that. Daniel Dubois and Filip Hrgovic.
I say Hrgovic.
Okay, that's interesting that you kind of split down the middle. So can't really pick a winner, but yeah, Josh, appreciate your time, mate. Any last words? Because I'll probably see you fight week now.
Nah, nothing, mate. Good to see you as always, and see you again soon. And safe travels back home, mate. Nice to see you again, man. Nice to see you.
Any message for the world?
Nah, just see you May 25th and be a great fight. And thanks to all your supports and thank to all you haters as well, because you keep me going and keep that fire in the stomach. So thank you.
All the best, man. Thank you for your time.